Welcome back into Wave Listens Live. I'm Michael Vanover. Again, the theme of the show today has really been Memorial Day around the corner. Summer is coming. We've been talking travel. We've been talking windows. Now we're going to be talking about car accidents, motorcycle accidents. Joining me now is attorney Jim Desmond from Desmond Law Office. Jim, how are you?
Hey, Michael. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. It's good to see you again.
You too.
All right. So for the folks at home that are watching, they're maybe thinking about hitting the open road this weekend for the holiday weekend, or they've got some summer plans, travel coming up. Talk about what it's like when you see all these cars on the road and how people need to be a little bit more careful this time of year.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, and that's one reason you and I talked about doing it right now, because the holiday coming up, all the increased travel, increased traffic. The thing that people need to realize is, again, it's your insurance policy that counts. What do you put on your insurance policy before you ever hit that road? Because, again, if I purchase insurance in Kentucky and I go to Florida, that all follows me. And everybody thinks there's this common misperception, unfortunately, in the law that everybody thinks, oh, the other guy's at fault. He's going to pay my medical bills. He's going to pay for my car. 1/3 of all Kentucky drivers are uninsured, and there's no guarantee in the law that they have enough insurance to cover your medical bills, much less your pain and suffering.
That's a wild stat. 1 in 3. It's crazy. I mean, you wouldn't even think it. Okay, so first of all, for folks that aren't familiar with you, although I think a lot of people are these days, give us a little bit of background on, you're giving us great advice, and we're going to talk more advice about car accidents, motorcycle accidents, why this is your wheelhouse, so to speak, what you do, and talk about Desmond Law Office as a whole.
Well, I mean, all I do is car wrecks, okay? I don't want to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. My spiel, or the way I look at it is, I think I get you in trouble when I come on these shows, but if you look at the TV advertisers, and now I'm one of those, okay, but we're not doing that song and dance stuff or calling ourselves silly names, because I don't think people want that anymore. I think what people want is to be able to get hold of their personal injury attorney, okay, or a car wreck attorney. And I say personal injury, if somebody has a car wreck and they're not hurt, they can still call me for advice. I don't care, okay? I want them to know that I'm a resource, because again, it's something they haven't dealt with. It is, the TV ads are all about, well, we'll get you a check, or we'll fight the insurance company, or we're the biggest, or we win, or all this other malarkey. What people need is solid advice if they've been in a car accident, because they don't know how do I get my car fixed? That's what I'm going to use to get basically to work tomorrow. How do I get it fixed? How do I do these type of things? You can't get that unless you talk to somebody who knows what they're doing. And that's, to be candid, that's why I only do one area of the law. I do car wrecks and motorcycle accidents, and that's pretty much all I do.
Well, I think so many times when people are in an accident, they're stressed out. They're living their life right now. They're trying to, like you said, get the car back, get their selves back. Talk about how you walk them through the process and how they are able to get a hold of you.
Well, okay, the first phone call, that's the thing I want to stress is my cell phone's been on the web for 20 years, okay? It's not a gimmick. And when people call, they get hold of me. They don't get hold of a paralegal. They don't get hold of an intake person. And it's not 20 questions as in, oh, can I have your address or your email and follow up? No, none of that. It's, okay, what happened? Tell me what happened. Let me start going through it. Can I help you? Let me give you some advice. I traveled last week to Florida, and I had a great time. But in the airport, I'm talking to somebody, and again, I'm giving him some advice, and I'm saying, hey, take the advice, decide what you want to do with it. He called me 5 days later and said, let's meet, let's go forward with it, okay? Because again, I'm not going to be, if I ever walked in to buy a car and somebody pressured me, I walked out.
Right.
And I'm the same way when it comes to my clients. I'm not going to pressure you. I'm going to tell you what you need to know, because there's so much bad advice out there, okay? That's where I sound really arrogant, but I want people to get hold of me because I do car wrecks. People will tell you, Johnny wasn't hurt and got this, it doesn't happen. 3 times your medicals, it was a formula that existed in the 80s. You get a lot of bad advice. They don't understand really what Kentucky law is all about. So for me to take 5 minutes to go through something and say, hey, this is the situation, this is what you want to do, I don't mind doing that. It's let's get people on track to begin with. And that's where I fuss again so much on this. My latest TV ad is fussing, saying I'm not going to call myself a silly name, I'm not going to sing or dance for you, because it's not about remembering this person or promising this. It's about, let's get some straightforward advice. You either like what I have to say, and we can either get on the same page and I can help you out, or I can't. But there's not going to be any hard feelings either way.
Well, I think, too, you've told me this before, I believe on the show, people don't know what they don't know. And you talk about the Kentucky law, there are things that people might be eligible for, so to speak, that maybe they don't know, and that's what you're here. I mean, that's what you do every day, all day, right? So they can call you for that advice because it doesn't hurt to make a free phone call.
No, I mean, people don't understand that Kentucky's a no-fault state. Right. They all think that means I can't sue that other person. That's not what it means. It means the vehicle you're in covers your medical bills up to $10,000 immediately. I oversimplify it by saying, think of it like health insurance through your auto insurance. So when you see ads about attorneys saying, I can get this for you or I can do that for you, when it comes to the no-fault, that happens immediately. Okay, it's not. those are things that people need to understand. So you're in an accident, and you're saying, well, I don't know if I have my health insurance covering this. Should I go to the hospital? That's one of the first questions I say. Is your car insured? Well, either then, if your car's insured, I can use your no-fault insurance. If that's not there, I can fall back and use your health insurance. Okay, so there's a lot of ways to do things. I don't want somebody to go backwards from a car accident, especially when that wasn't their fault.
Well, I know we obviously don't wish car accidents or motorcycle accidents among anybody, but as people are getting on the roads and more cars and motorcycles are out there, there will be more accidents. And so let's talk about the advice that you really wanted to discuss. You know, whether it's this weekend, whether it's in the coming weeks, coming months, what would you tell folks that are watching right now about what they maybe should do in case they're in an accident?
First step before the accident ever happens, look at your own policy. If you want to send it to me, uninsured, underinsured coverage of at least $100,000 per person. That's essentially your insurance acts like they insure the guy if he has no insurance or they don't have enough. A second step is pretty much if an accident happens, call. Don't hesitate. It takes 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be personal injury or horrendous. If you're at the accident scene and it's bad, go ahead and take the ambulance to the hospital. Go ahead and do it, okay? Let them check you out. I've seen too many cases where somebody thinks they're not hurt and ends up being something more down the road. Don't settle. You don't have to settle anything fast. Statute of limitations in Kentucky is at least 2 years from the date of accident. When you settle, I use a silly example with my clients, but I say you go back to the doctor tomorrow. He says you're going to go blind in your right eye. It doesn't matter how severe it is or when it's discovered. You can't recover anything further. Well, don't let an insurance company or an attorney or anybody else push you into settling too fast. You got time. Now, your case lives and dies on the medical records. I will say that. So if you're hurt, goes at least to your family doctor, because you wait 3 or 4 weeks after an accident and you didn't document that you were hurting. Okay, so I will say
that's important.
At least go get checked by a family doctor. A lot of my friends will do that. They'll call me and they'll say, I'm hurting, but I don't know if I want to do anything. I'm like, I'm not going to force you to do anything. Go to a family doctor, document it, see how you feel 2-3 weeks afterwards. If you decide there's nothing there and you don't want to do it, fine. If you decide you need physical therapy or something else, you didn't send me in with already one arm tied behind my back.
Right, no doubt. Okay, so again, that's really sound advice. One of the notes says don't rely on a police report. I'm guessing take pictures, all those other things, right, if you're in an accident?
And police are doing a great job. Don't misunderstand me. But they don't want to come out a lot of times to non-injury accidents anymore. Okay. And you got to realize, I mean, let's face it, it's just, you know, they have a lot on their platter. You're relying on a police report that they put everything in there. Well, you want to get the witnesses' names on your own. Okay, you want to have that information because, again, I've seen too many cases where what happens is they don't put a name in there or they don't put the phone number or the correct address. And that can make all the difference in the world. Because remember, I will say this. You know, there are decent insurance companies out there, but their job is to try to save money and protect their insured.
That's right.
And how they do that is saying their guy wasn't at fault. So, you know, whatever you can get at the scene, yes. Photographs.
We all carry the camera now, so just make it happen, right?
I mean, honestly, if you're up for it, or if your family members can do it.
Somebody else could.
Yeah, and then, you know what I tell them is bombard me with those photos afterwards. We'll save them to the cloud.
Just text you, whatever. And again, the number on the screen, 502-609-7657, attorneydesmond.com. Whether you're in an accident coming up or maybe you've been in one recently, reach out. He doesn't mind to help you out, right?
No,
thanks, Jim. I appreciate it, man.
Thanks for having me again.
All right, we'll be right back on Wave Listens Live.